Welcome to the Connecticut Environmental Justice Mapping Tool. This is a web application that can be used through internet connection from any device. It can be from your desktop computer, tablets, or phones. This tutorial is going to explain how this application shows different indices and indicators and how can you use the features of this application to prepare your own maps. The screen that you are seeing right now is from a desktop computer. It first welcomes you with a splash screen or welcome screen that explains what this tool is and what it isn't, with disclaimers, and where you can get more information. If you do not wish to see this screen again, you can click here and move on, or you can simply click on OK. There are a couple features in this application. First, we have navigation tools here and here. We have widgets. The widgets are these small icons on the left and on the right. Depending on what kind of a device that you are using to connect this application, the widgets can be in different places. Nevertheless, all the features will be the same. We are going to start our tutorial first with navigation tools. The first and very handy feature is find address or a place. You can type any address or basically a place, and you can go to that area. You can click X to close any window. In order to go back to the statewide map, you can click on this home shape button or default extent. You can zoom in and out using plus and minus buttons. If your browser is allowing you to track your address, you can use My Location to go to your location that your IP is showing. The first map you see on the background is going to be Environmental Justice Index map. This map is the combination of all the indicators, and it includes a variety of information in it. If you click on any census tract, it's going to pop up an information. You can maximize the screen and read more information. What you'll see for any pop-up is what that index that you're visualizing, at which census tract, for which town, and which county. The first paragraph will always give what score that index has. The scores are ranks, go from 0 to 10. This track is 7.6 out of 10. It's also going to show its percentile. The rank gives a relative score. So the higher the rankings are, the darker the areas on the map are, and it's going to represent higher potential cumulative impacts. The first paragraph will always give information about that. The second paragraph will give information about which layer that you are looking for. In this case, we are looking for Environmental Justice Index, so there is going to be a brief information about that. Since this is a cumulative index, it's going to give specific information related to that track, from number of people to how much percent of are in poverty levels, median income, unemployment rates, and percent of minoritized groups. This index also have 3 graphs. The first graph that you are seeing right now is race and ethnicity distribution. You can hover your mouse over to see how much percent of different race and ethnicity in this track. You can click on this arrow to see the next media, next graph, and this next graph shows which category of composite indices are contributing to the Environmental Justice Index. We have sensitive populations and pollution burden. And I can see that pollution burden has higher score than sensitive populations in this track. And the last graph shows the other composite indices. pollution exposure, pollution sources, health sensitivity, and socioeconomic factors. I can see that pollution sources is low in here, so I can focus more on the other composite indices and their indicators. You can close the screen by clicking on X. Whichever the map that you're seeing on the screen are going to be highlighted with a checkbox. Right now, I'm seeing Environmental Justice Index, so it is checked mark here. I can click on the arrow next to it and then see what the legend really indicates. I can also click this 3 dot dot dot, zoom into that layer, change the transparency, set visibility range, disable pop-ups, move up and down the layer, view the attribute table, or show more details. So more information about each layer are next to these 3 dots. If I want to see another layer, like pollution burden, I will need to uncheck the layer that's been displayed already on the map and click on the next one. If you try to click a bunch of layers, they're all going to be overlaying on top of each other, and you may not really obtain the correct information that you're looking for. In pollution burden, in similar fashion, I can click here to check the legend. And I can click on any census tract to get more information. In a similar fashion, the first line is which layer that I'm looking for which census tract, town, and county. The first paragraph always gives the score. The second paragraph gives information about what that layer is, briefly. And the third one gives me a graph that shows like what is really contributing to pollution burden, pollution sources or pollution exposure. For this track, they're quite close to each other. If I would like to deep into pollution sources, for example, I can click again, and you see a tabled manner of showing the contribution of all the indicators. First, I'll see the information about which track that I'm looking for, and then its rank. Then I'll see a list of all the indicators. The higher the rank value is, like for example, brownfields are 8.4, significant environmental hazards are 9.8, I know that they are contributing more here. And wastewater discharges 9.6 compared to others, like Superfund sites. If I see a number as like minus 99999, that just means that that information is not available for that census tract. You can go through different indices, a similar fashion, obtain their tabled information that they are contributing to that. For sensitive populations, socioeconomic factors, and health sensitivity. You can obtain all the information related to indices under this orange widget. If you would like to learn more about the indicators, you can go to widgets next to it. For example, every widget is going to start with its name, potential pollution sources, its composite index. It's both in here and under the indices widget. And it's going to have the indicators. For example, if you click on them, you'll see the legend. If you see empty places, that just means that that information is not available for that track. And if you click on any area, again, what indicator that you are seeing, first paragraph gives the score, and next paragraph will tell more information about that layer. If you would like to learn what that indicator is, you can click here and go a page information about that layer. This pop-up page we're going to say that how that indicator is related to EJ issues, what that indicator represents, what is the data source for that indicator, and how that indicator is calculated, what the ranks are representing in terms of the values and percentiles, and the works cited. You can try that for any kind of layer to learn more information. For health layers, same way, and socioeconomic layers. In addition to all the widgets to visualize the indicators and indices, on the top right, you're going to see more widgets to get more detailed information. You may not see that many widgets in your browser, and in that case, you should simply click on this 3 lines, which you can call like hamburger or more, and visualize the rest of the widgets in your browser. The first widget is generally the legend. The legend shows whichever map is displayed on the screen. The second one is boundaries. We have statute-defined census block groups, distress municipalities, town boundaries, and just simply census tracts. The next one, we have a base map gallery. You can change the base map, the map underneath our EJ maps, by clicking on any Esri-defined map here. I represents an about data and map presentation information, so it's going to give a general information about what the composite indices are, what the list of the indicators, what they mean, and how you can interpret the map using some examples. The question mark shows a description for all the widgets. So if you forget how to use them, you can look at here for this list. Swipe is one of the only tools that we suggest you to display 2 or more layers at a time. So you can click on any other layer. Here I'm going to choose pollution burden, and you can swipe through them. In this case, the top layer will be on the left and the bottom layer will be on the right. Next, we have chart. For environmental justice index, you can choose a special filter and you can do a user-defined area. I'm going to use the circular button to define a small area here and apply. You're going to see the census tract ranks for the towns. You can display this higher score or lowers the graph here. If you would like to visualize it, just the map area that you are seeing, you can click on apply and you can see a bigger area of the ranks. And you can move this toggle to arrange how much of the graph that you would like to display. You can click on print to print any map that you're seeing on the screen. Reporting is a very useful feature to report all the index-related information. So you can type your address here or draw an area or simply upload the shapefile that you have and click on report. You're going to see the reported out information for the scores for all the composite indices. You can click on plus button to see for each census tract. There are 12 census tracts that I'm seeing right now for all the scores. You can click on here to download them in an Excel shapefile, or you can report them out. A report generated for your chosen area. You can change the title, show your map, add some comments here, and see which census tracts indices are shown on this table, what are their ranks, and what are the specific composite index scores. for all of them. You can print this map or save it as a PDF file. Next, I have filter. So I'm going to the general extent. If you would like to see only a census tracts with a certain amount of rank, you can write here numbers from 0 to 10. I'm going to write 7, just to see that only the census tracts that have scores higher than 7, and turn on this toggle, and that's what I will see then. You can turn off this toggle and go back to the general map. Next, I have bookmark. We added 6 bookmarks here for high environmental justice index score towns, so you can jump through them, or you can add your own bookmark. You can use the select feature and select a special area. Right now, the selected area that I have are touching 23 census tracts. You can click on this layer to see all the census tracts that are being selected and get more information from these 3 dots. Or you can click on here for the general text and get statistical information for that selected. So for example, for the selected census tracts, you want to see their EJ rank, and I can see that the average is 8.5. I can see the maximum, minimum, and standard deviation. And you can see that I can also look for the other composite indices scores and some of the demographic information as well. I can create my own layer and view attribute table. With the view attribute table, it's shown for all the selected census tracts. So I've selected 13 census tracts, and the information about that is shown here. To hide the attribute table, you just click here. You can create your own layer and type any name. And your selected tracks or any layer that you created will be added under the index layer. You can uncheck this to go back. And the last widget that we have is add data. You can add any data to your map using your organization, your content, or ArcGIS Online, URL of a web service, or you can upload a file. I'm going to use ArcGIS Online to find, let's say, flood map. I found the flood hazard areas map here. And I added the flood hazard map here. It's underneath my map. So if I would like to see this map is added under the indices, and I can see what that legend is from the legend layer because it shows all the maps that's been displayed on the screen. With that, we are finalizing our tutorial. We wish that you explore more on the widgets and the tools that the application provides and create your own environmental justice maps. Thank you for listening.